Welcome to Once Upon a Sunday Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your host, Josh. With me is Viking Dave and Marco Balsamo. What's up, guys?
What's up?
What up?
Just hanging out, talking some fantasy with you guys, running over some draft stuff before the show. You guys are trashing my team. I didn't like that too much. Well, not really. But we're here to talk fantasy, my guys, ride or dies.
The other guys.
The other guys. That's what it's called. No.
The other guys.
I wish I had that soundbite. Dave, do it for me. Peacocks got to do what? What do we got to do?
You gotta let a peacock fly. You gotta let him fly.
And that's what we're doing today. We're naming our guys. Dave, you never submitted any. Do you have guys? Are you contributing to the show today, or are you just gonna trash our?
I'm gonna trash all y'all stuff.
This is bullshit, Dave. I mean, I would want the opportunity. It's not about you trashing mine. You can trash me all you want, but you have to give me the opportunity to come back and trash you. You can't just not fucking participate. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, we'll see. I might try to throw something out there later. We'll see.
All right. Think about it.
I've given up on Dave trying to contribute, like fantasy analyst wise. Like he's just there for the fun, eating peanuts or whatever he's eating right now.
Skittles.
Always Skittles. All right.
I love Skittles. Taste the rainbow. Before we get to the show, I just want you guys to follow us on Twitter.
The best kind.
OUS. It is the best kind. That's from Poker Night 2 nights ago, or 3
Yeah.
nights ago.
A couple days ago.
At Viking Dave on Twitter. And Marco, I don't know if you're on Twitter. I tagged you today, but
I'm not on Twitter.
you're just not a Twitter guy. But that's definitely okay.
Maybe one day.
Maybe. But let's get straight into trivia. This one's pretty simple. I didn't have much time today. But this one, I got two questions. So part 2. So my first question is easy. All right. Josh Allen scored 376.1 points last year, which is the 4th most of any quarterback in the history of fantasy football. Can you name the other 3 that are above him?
Lamar
That's correct.
from a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Mahomes
That's
from a
correct.
couple years ago.
And then Peyton Manning when he was on that one season. Didn't he have that season on the Broncos?
Yeah, that's correct. That was pretty
Fuck
simple.
yes,
So that was a layup. All right. That was a super layup. But this one's a little bit harder.
All right.
Wide receiver target leaders inside the 5. There are.
Devontae Adams.
Hold on. There are 10 with 6 or more targets. So you got to name all 10.
Mike
I got Devontae Adams.
Oh, we're gonna ping pong this. So
Okay, I got Adams.
yes,
You got
whoa,
Adams.
whoa.
We did it right.
All right. Well, I can explain the rules. The way this goes is Dave names one, Marco names one, and yada yada yada. If Dave gets one wrong, Marco has to tie, whatever the case may be. So let's do it right now. Name one guy.
Adams.
Adams is right.
This is just wide receivers, by the way. Not
Yeah,
tight
just
ends.
wide receivers. He had 7. Adams had 7.
Okay. Mike Evans.
Mike Evans is right. He had 7.
You're saying that had how many? 6 or more?
6 or more.
Inside the 5?
Inside the 5 targets.
I got my next one if he doesn't.
I'm gonna go with this guy. I don't know if it's right because he always scores touchdowns. So feeling,
Dave, really?
but he got hurt, so probably not.
Wow.
No, you're already eliminated.
Unless
Marco.
I
unless
can just
Marco
take the
doesn't
win
say
with
it.
Cooper Cup, right? I mean,
Yep,
that's
Cooper Cup.
I mean,
Oh yeah, of course.
Marco, I thought you guys would do a little
Well, I
bit.
was saving for those later. Like those are the easy ones.
All right, you know
Okay,
what?
so
We have
I was
one,
gonna say
saving it easy for
Jefferson.
later. That's how it works. in
We
this
have
game.
7.
Yeah,
We have 7 left. Let's start it over. Redo it. Dave, give me another one.
Justin Jefferson.
Okay, Marco, you can win again real quick if you just name someone else.
Dude, I'm tempted to say him, but if I can win, I can win. So he got Justin Jefferson wrong.
Hold on. Jefferson's right. My bad.
I was gonna say I thought he was
I
right.
wrote
All right.
Jet. I didn't write Jefferson. I wrote Jet. My bad.
Get it right.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Back at it.
Yeah,
I'm on.
Yep.
I'm live.
Tie it up.
Oh, I got another one. I
Jamar
think.
Chase.
Chase is not it for sure.
I knew because he had a lot of deep plays. And that's what...
What's his face? I just had Tyreek. Tyreek's got to be in there. They do those little
Tyreek
jet
is-
passes all the time.
Tyreek is just with the
No?
absurd... Wow, he had an absurd target.
I'll
years
do the
last year,
list.
too. Wait.
Yeah.
Wait.
Oh,
I quit. I give up.
Wait. Hold on. Everybody calm down here. All right. Stephon Diggs.
no.
All right, fuck
Ooh.
me. Never mind. Go ahead.
Like all the best receivers apparently don't catch the ball inside the 5.
Yeah, I
but
guess
who
they
knows?
don't. Yeah, I was just
These are
at that
targets,
point.
by the way. Randall Cobb at 6.
Exactly. That's what we just said. The best receivers clearly don't catch
I
the ball
was gonna
inside the
get
5.
Randall Cobb
Rodgers
at
trusts him. So Hopkins at 6.
All right.
Deontay Johnson at 6.
I was
Oh, my
Deontay
boy.
Johnson was my next one. Yeah,
Keenan Allen at 6.
I figured Keenan.
Mike Williams at 8.
Did not think Mike Williams.
And
Wow.
Starvin Marvin Jones had 8.
Did
What?
not think Marvin
You
Jones
wasn't
either.
gonna get
I would not have gotten this.
I knew you guys weren't going to get him. I knew that at Stacks. I saw it on Twitter like maybe like a couple months ago. And I'm like, there's no way. So then I'm like, oh, let me just do red zone targets, or targets inside the 5 would have been harder. But now that's out of the way. You guys both lose, unfortunately, because you guys both suck.
I won, but okay.
I don't know if you won.
I mean, we both got only one right. So what are you talking about?
I'm less worse than Dave. Nah, I got Cooper Kupp. That was my second one, right? So suck it.
You're right. You're right.
So we'll go into the news a little bit. There's only 3 things I want to break down, or at least talk about before we get to our fantasy peacocks or other guys. Kareem Hunt has requested a trade from Cleveland. I guess Cleveland said, no, we're not trading you. We're keeping you. Do you think that's legit? Do you think they're because everyone says, no, we're not trading you. Everyone says that. Do you think eventually he gets his way out of Cleveland sometime this season?
I think he stays.
I think it would be smart if they traded him.
I think why? Why would you give up that guy? Like, what are you gonna get back for him? A 5th round pick?
Because he wants out, and he's a startable running back. You're gonna get something, and it's
You're
better
not
to
gonna
get
get anything of value.
Dude,
for
when
running backs, you don't get anything for.
They'll get something. When do we ever see these guys who are demanding trades and all this stuff then pan out on the same team? Like it doesn't really work out that way. So for me, they already have Chubb. Let him move. I don't care. Get something.
I mean, for fantasy, it would be way better if they let him go to some place that needed a running back. But for Cleveland's sake, it doesn't make any sense. He's on a really good deal. He's making like no money. Why would you get rid of the guy? Let him walk next year for free. I don't know what's gonna happen. It's already like, a month from the season starting. If it's gonna happen, it has to happen soon. And they've said they're not gonna do it. So I mean, we'll see. I don't know. I'm not counting on it.
Yeah, we'll see.
I mean, Kareem Hunt's amazing in this offense. I mean, he doesn't get the fair share he should, but he's a red zone guy. I hate rostering Chubb and Hunt because Chubb gets all the yards in between the 20s, and then once you're in the red zone, you're like, what the heck? Why is Hunt in there? And then you'll see freaking Dearness Johnson in there. You're like, what the heck's going on? This whole backfield sucks. I mean, they don't suck. They're awesome. But I just wish Kareem Hunt would move on. So, because Dearness Johnson's not bad. He's actually really good if you look at his stats. And that would move him into that role. And yes, get rid of Kareem Hunt. But you're not going to get anything like David said. What do you get? 6th round pick? 5th round pick?
That's what I'm saying. I wasn't
better than nothing if he
a 27-year-old running back that's,
What if he refuses to play? And then he's all
what would you rather have? A 5th round? What would you rather have? A 5th round pick or 700 rushing yards and an extra 400 receiving yards on your offense?
If Kareem Hunt's going to play, I'm keeping him if I'm the Browns. Again,
the thing is, he has no leverage. Like, you're a 27-year-old running back. You have to get your money now. You can't afford to sit out a year. You know what I mean? Like, he can't hold out.
I don't know.
We'll see.
I know he can't hold out. But if he does play like fantasy booking, fantasy trading, where would you want him to go? Like, where's your number one target?
Oh, Miami. Miami would be great.
Oh, Miami would be a headache because there could be the argument that Hunt is not a 3-down back, and then you have Edmonds and Michelle and Mostert and whoever Gaskins, whoever else. So I don't know, but I think Houston. I would love all the only competition is Dameon Pierce, and it's a horrible, horrible defense, and they're just going to keep passing to Hunt out of the backfield for Davis Mills. Like, I think he collect targets and have a full 3-down back roll if he was there.
I'm leaning towards Kansas City. I know it's not going to happen, but gosh, just imagine if they had a running back. Imagine if they had a running back.
Go back there.
Just imagine though. We wouldn't have to play the CEH or Che, as some people call them.
Yeah,
apparently.
Let's imagine back when he was on the team a few years ago. And...
Yes, we wouldn't play this. This would get rid of the Ronald Jones, Clyde Edwards-Helaire bull spit that we got to deal with, and you would have that one back who would be there. But it's not going to happen. That'd be the ultimate spot for him though, because he knows the offense, he knows the system. He's been there. But like I said,
but then people would stop wasting picks on CEH, and I want them to waste all their picks.
I think people are wasting picks on Ronald Jones too, which is
on all of them. Yeah, McKinnon, whoever.
Yeah, no one's drafting McKinnon. This isn't 2012 anymore. J.K. Dobbins passes his physical off the PUP list officially. This is good news for all fantasy players because I was afraid that he was going to start super slow. I still think he is. I don't think he's going to get a full workload at all. Dave, how say you on J.K. Dobbins?
I mean, yeah, I don't think anybody expected him to be full go yet, but the fact that he's healthy and ready to go for week 1 is really all we care about. You know, give him a few weeks to get ready to go, and then have him full speed for the second half of the season.
Yeah, he's not going to be effective this year. He's coming off the ACL tear. He will not be a good player this year. That's a fact. But fantasy wise, because of how run heavy that offense is, because of the fact that the other running backs, Gus Edwards also coming back from injury, like, yeah, there's a chance that the volume, it's already baked into his ADP. So it's good to see him going. I kind of like where his price is right now.
Do you have his ADP right off the top of your head?
No, but it was like low RB2, right?
Yeah, see, I'm not touching J.K. Dobbins this year at all. I don't want any part of him. And anytime I do have him in a few dynasties, and I'm like, I don't know about that, man. I wish I could trade him. 23, you said? Yeah, 23. Yeah. Right before Breece Hall, which is odd. I would take Breece all day.
I'm taking Breece all day over J.K. Dobbins. Yeah,
every day. Easy. He's below Elijah Mitchell, which is still good. Dave, would you take Elijah Mitchell or J.K. Dobbins? Because I know you're iffy on Elijah.
Mitchell.
I know you are.
I like him. I love Elijah Mitchell. If he's healthy, I love him. You just got to worry about his injuries, but I love him.
And the one last piece out of the training camp news this week is Mitchell Trubisky has taken over as the quarterback one in Pittsburgh. We all knew this. Yeah. But what do you think? Do you think there's any chance that, I know, Dave, don't get your Bears bias out of it. Is there any chance that he went to Buffalo and learned from Josh Allen and that coaching staff, and he's going to come out as a better player, as a overall fantasy stud?
I don't think he went to Buffalo and learned anything special. I think the fact that he got to sit and wait. He only played 1 year of college football. He then came in the NFL and played with terrible, players in Chicago, a terrible offense, all of that combined. I don't think he's that good, but I don't think he's just one of the worst QBs in the world. He had moments. If you put players around him, he's got guys like Deontay Johnson, he's got Najee Harris, he's got Chase Claypool, he's got Pickens. Let them just make the safe throws. He's really good on the run. That's the one thing I always would notice when he was in Chicago. Whenever we'd play him, if you could keep him in the pocket and make him throws, he wasn't great, but he's athletic. He can run a little bit. So I mean, I don't think he's a stud. I don't think that's ever going to happen, but I think he can be a decent, QB for a couple of years. Yeah.
Marco, how do you think this affects the receivers around them, the Deontays, the Pickens, the whole offense in general?
I actually love that you asked me that, because I don't understand why anybody is treating it like this offense got worse because Trubisky or Pickett is in there. Big Ben was done. As done as a QB gets. He couldn't throw and he couldn't move. So at the very least, you get a more mobile QB who can get out of the pocket with an O-line that blows, right, and keep a play alive. I think it actually helps this offense significantly, whether it's Trubisky or Pickett. But Trubisky, I think it's his job to lose, because they're not, nobody's dying to get Pickett on the field. It's his job to lose, and we'll see how he does. I agree with Dave. I think he's flashed enough that with those weapons, he might be all right.
My issue with Trubisky and Pickett, you said Ben was so bad, and that's true. He wasn't as good, obviously, but he did know how to get the ball out of his hands right away and make the correct read. He knew that. He knew how to do that. With Trubisky, this is nothing new. We all know this.
Yep.
He's going to play hero ball. He's not going to check it down to Deontay or Najee, and those guys are going to suffer, I think, in fantasy this year. I think next year they step back up. But I feel like with this whole new offense, I think Freiermuth is going to get a lot more targets than we think. And I think he's going to be a very good tight end.
Freiermuth fan.
I know you are. But he's still going late. He's still going late-ish. He's going below Dawson Knox. And if you ask me who I would prefer, I'd prefer Freiermuth over Dawson Knox, because Knox was very touchdown dependent. And I think those targets go up with a Trubisky behind center. But I think Najee, I suffers. I think he wasn't very efficient last year. Maybe he's a better runner this year. Maybe that makes up for the targets that he's going to not get. I don't know, but I'm kind of scared of Najee. Najee is a guy I'm avoiding at all costs.
I kind of agree. I get what you're saying about the targets, and that's that's almost a given. Like his targets and receptions are going to go down. But if you look at the stats for Najee and how inefficient he was, like it was bad, and it wasn't his fault. Like he had, I think, the worst or second worst run blocking of any running back with over 150 carries. Like he's gonna have that efficiency in his second year. The game's gonna slow down. That line has to get better. And like I said, having that mobile QB maybe just helps the run game as opposed to Ben, who really was either get it out right away or get sacked. Like that was it. So
Do you think they're going to run read option plays with Trubisky? He did it in Chicago for a little bit.
yeah,
It helped
why not?
Montgomery. It
Why
helped that run
not?
game. Yeah.
I think you have to with that O line, right? Like that's the whole thing. Like you're not continuing to play with this O line, which they have not fully repaired yet. Like, and then hoping that Trubisky's just going to sit in the pocket. Like you need to design those plays.
And then another thing we all need to think about is like game script. So let's say Trubisky does suck and he does turn the ball over a lot, and then the defense is working on short fields and they're down 21-0 already. That's going to game plan Najee out. Maybe he's going to get more receptions, but that's going to game plan that run game out, and I'm really afraid of that too. Like I kind of want no part of this offense, even though I love Deontay. I know you're shaking your head, Dave.
You're
I know
wrong.
you're shaking your head, but I know you think I'm wrong. It's totally fine. But I want nothing to do with this offense at all. I'm stuck with Deontay because I roster him a couple places, but I don't want in redraft. I'm staying away.
Dude, there's way worse quarterbacks in the league than him. Najee is a good player. Maybe he's not, Jonathan Taylor, but he's still a good player.
Mhm.
Deontay Johnson is a really, really good NFL wide receiver. He's going to get open because that's what he does. Claypool's going to make plays downfield. Freiermuth, like you said, is like the offense isn't just going to be like come shit overnight. Like Marco said, Ben isn't good. And yeah, I agree with you 100% that he was smart enough to know to get the ball out quickly. And that's why I think Deontay had such a great year because he was just running slants and you can't cover. It's too hard to cover. So I get that. But Deontay's still a good player. And unless Trubisky is just terrible, which could happen, I think that as long as he's just average, the offense will be fine. Najee, I don't think he's going to be a bust, unless he gets hurt. He should be fine. The volume's still good. Who's he competing with? Nobody. He's going to get all of the work. Maybe he doesn't catch, what do you have, like 100 targets last year? Something crazy. Okay, so he's not going to get that many. He's still going to be efficient enough. And again, Deontay and Najee are going to be fine, in my opinion. Freiermuth to be a good tight end. Now maybe the other guys are more like Claypool could be more, dependent on big games and stuff like that. Sure. But I think the studs like Deontay and Najee will be just fine. I mean, if you want to knock them down a couple spots, that's fine. But I think saying that they're just, avoiding them, I think is wrong.
And let's not forget, even if either Trubisky does well enough and the offense keeps moving, or he blows and they get rid of him and they switch out to Pickett, who, whatever you want to say about Pickett, he's a first-round drafted NFL QB. Any QB drafted in the NFL in the first round has a chance to be a good QB. Who knows? We could see it could be even better than last year's offense.
Oh, that's a stretch. Do you think he plays over under 6.5 games? Pickett.
Who? No,
Pickett.
less.
Us. What rookie do you think
6.5? So you're saying
6.5.
You're saying Trubisky plays then more about
like
3/4
10
of the season, right? Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I think Trubisky's out by half I just think by that point in the year, they're not going to be in playoff contention. And then it's just, unless Trubisky's been like really impressing, then it's time to go move on to your first round draft pick.
That's fair.
That's what I'm saying. If they're like 3 wins into it and they're 10 games in, why not?
Yeah, if they're that bad, then you might as well switch it up. Sure.
I'd give it over for 6.5 for Pickett over.
I think less.
I'm going to go over because I don't think they have any ambitions to win this division. I don't think they can with the rest of the Bengals, the Browns. Every team got better except for them.
You're crazy if you're going to doubt Mike Tomlin, but go ahead. The defense is still really good.
Can always figure out a way.
Dude, they know what they're doing. Like, they have smart coaches. Like, people keep underestimating coaching. It's why guys with terrible coaches don't ever succeed. Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season, and that's not a coincidence, I mean, he's good. He's just smart. The defense is still really, really good. They're going to keep him in games, and I don't know. Like I said, unless Mitch Trubisky is just awful, which could happen, I think. I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, I've never loved them, but I think they'll at least be competitive. Like, I don't see any reason why they won't be, an 8 or 9 win team ish, like at least.
I got a problem with what you said about Tomlin, which is totally fine. He's a great coach. I actually like him, but it's easy to be a great coach when you have a Hall of Fame quarterback for 18 years. It really is.
No, you're right. It's true, but you still got to put these guys in the right situations. I mean, Ben's not doing it all.
Well, you take okay. We
But
live
yeah,
here in
it
Tampa.
helps for
You
sure,
see
a
Bruce
lot.
Arians. You see Bruce Arians with Jameis with the same offense, and then all you do is you just add in Tom. What happens?
Yeah,
All
all
of a
you do
sudden-
is
Talking about
add
Tom
in the
Brady
GOAT versus a
Jameis
guy who
Winston.
can't,
Like,
a
come
guy who
on.
can't get a starting job in the
hey,
NFL, keep a
what
starting
I'm
job
saying
in the NFL.
is,
Yes,
you
it
get rid, now you
helps.
minus Ben, now you minus your Hall of Fame quarterback who's won multiple Super Bowls, and then you put in Trubisky, who is
It could happen.
everyone
But-
sees
but
that.
you're
Think
not-
Everyone's
about how
seen,
bad they were last year.
Don't call Ben last year the Hall of Fame. Ben
That's
last
what I'm
year
saying.
was
Like, he
nothing
wasn't
like
even
Ben.
good, and they still
Yeah.
won 9 games, right?
Any,
Like,
any Steelers fan, listen, my in-laws are all Steelers fan, all from PA. They'll all tell you Ben was unwatchable last year. Like it was terrible, dude.
but
He's not
I understand
himself.
he's unwatchable. But then you take Peyton Manning off the Broncos, even when he had the duck, the worst arm in the NFL. Boom, what happened? All of a sudden, Broncos went to shit. Drew Brees, what happened? Even though he had a bad arm, it doesn't matter. These quarterbacks make great decisions and they work with what they have because they're still Hall of Fame talents. Even they have the Hall of Fame brain and they can figure it out. And then when Drew
I guess
Brees,
we're about to find out.
leaves, exactly,
see.
we're gonna find out.
we'll find
because
out real quickly.
what makes
It
the
could
team,
happen. I'm
the
not saying
quarterback
for
or the
sure.
coach? We're about to find out.
We'll see.
I think it's a little bit of both, but you're right.
They're
It's
not going to
definitely
make the
never
playoffs,
forget-
could
but
matter.
I do think they win games. Yeah.
I'll never
That's what I'm
forget
saying. I
Mike
just think
Tomlin.
that the defense is good enough and they'll be competitive enough to where they won't be a 3-10 win, like halfway through the season or whatever. That's all.
I'll never forget Mike Tomlin sitting in Ed Moore's Cadillac, sleeping like this with his iPad in his. He's sleeping and his iPad has football on it, and he's just sleeping.
Back when he was a
low.
nobody.
No, he was. This was about 4 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was at Ed Moore's Tampa, and his iPad was on football, and he was sleeping. I'm like, that dude works in his sleep. Good for him. All right, let's go to our fantasy other guys, the guys that we love so much. Dave brought nothing to the table, like I said.
I
But
never
me and
did.
Marco, no, you bring the funny and you bring the snarky comments, which that's what people enjoy. You're the star of
That's
the
what I'm here
show.
for,
Put
you
your
know.
sunglasses on.
Don't make me get them. I will.
We have a quarterback, running back, tight end, and a wide receiver that we all love this year. Everyone does. And we have our guys. And Marco, I want you to kick it off with your favorite quarterback, your Peacock quarterback. Who is it?
Oh yeah, everybody should know this. I mean, this is Trey Lance. Easy for me. I love Trey Lance. He is going to break out. The offense is designed for him. I mean, this is going to be something where we can see this guy in his first year starting. It's going to be Pat Mahomes like. It's going to be Pat Mahomes like. He's going to go straight into that top 3 area. I'm all aboard the hype train for Trey Lance. I'm the conductor, the engineer. I made the train. I built it from scratch. I'm in every single seat. Love him.
You were on Trey Lance last year, and
Mhm.
and we all knew he wasn't going to play much. At least I knew that. I don't think you knew that.
I did not think he would not play as much as he did not play.
He's going to be a fantasy relevant player. He's going to be a top 10 quarterback, in my opinion, as well. His rushing floor alone just gets you that. Add in, Brandon Ayuk, the deep ball, Debo still, like, just add in all those pieces he has. He has, out of all the rookies that came out of that draft, he has the most pieces to become that great quarterback. So I can definitely feel you on that one.
Offensive scheme as a whole. I mean,
The coaching is
my
honestly
God.
what's going to
We
make
just
him
talked about
okay.
coaching, right? Like how important that is. And they are going to open this guy up. He's going to have runs designed for him. He's going to have these easy short routes to Debo, and it's going to be beautiful. The offense is going to be fun to watch.
I'm excited to see the goal line work, the red zone work. Like, what's it going to be? Is it going to be Elijah Mitchell sweeping over here? Is it going to be like, imagine like just Debo running in the back? You got Mitchell freaking. It's just going to be insane. We're going to see a bunch of motion.
Defense.
We're going to, yeah, exactly.
Everything's going to be moving. They're going to pick people apart.
I'm definitely on board with this one. I'm curious to see where he goes in home leagues, because that's where I'm kind of like, I've already done my dynasty leagues. All my home leagues are people in on this guy? Do they know about this guy yet, or is he still just a mystery?
As far as underdog, which is going to be different, right? The best ball leagues are going to be different, but he was going. I think it was. I'm trying to see where the ADP is. It's like 73rd overall and
13th quarterback.
13th, yeah. The only problem I'll say with that actually is, I would have Trey Lance on 100% of my teams at that ADP. I love Trey Lance at 13 overall at that ADP, but I've been splitting it with, and he's not your QB, so I don't think and Dave didn't bring shit, so it doesn't matter. But I've been splitting him with Burrow because Burrow's at QB 12, which makes absolutely zero
How
sense
he's
to
going
me.
like QB 4
Dude,
in every draft I see.
it makes no sense. If you
QB
go on best
6
ball,
in
no,
ADP.
best ball on underdog, I'm telling you, in the past 24 hours, I've done about 15 drafts, and it's Burrow and Lance right next to each other at 12 and 13. I don't know why, but I keep ending up with, I'm staring at my screen right now. I have Burrow on 37.5% of my teams because I have to keep taking him at that spot. But Trey Lance at 13, that's what we were really talking about. Trey Lance at 13.
Lance all day. All right, this one's going to be hard for me to spin. I'm not going to lie. This is more of a gut feeling for my quarterback that I love. This is very hard for me to spin, especially since he's a New York Jet, especially since we all looked on draft day about how scared he was going to that team and how he doesn't fit an NFL roster. But the dude's put on muscle. The dude bangs some moms. And the dude has a cannon. And he's also been equipped with a Breece Hall, a Garrett Wilson, and a brand new tight end staff, Uzama and Conklin. Like, they've done everything to make this kid work. And he's done everything to make it work. He's I'll never Marco's frozen. He's in the basement over there.
He sure is. Zach.
All right. So Zach Wilson, like I said, not
you're lagging on my thing. You're going.
Okay. Well,
look at you. It's you, not us.
That's me now.
Zach Wilson has to put it all together this year. And at the ADP he's going, he's not being drafted. He will not be drafted in any redraft league you do unless it's a 2-quarterback or super flex. He's going as a quarterback 24, so he's basically free. Every year I try to I don't like drafting quarterbacks early, especially in redraft. I hate it. I've been taking Mac Jones. I've been taking Derek Carr, like all these guys that people undervalue year in and year out. And I think Zach Wilson could put it all together in a sophomore year with these guys. Elijah Moore was a wide receiver 1 for a good stretch. Corey Davis is a veteran that can get the job done. It's not like this guy is going to be set up for failure at all. His offensive line took a hit with Becton being out. You saw that, right? I didn't bring it up in the news because it's not fantasy relevant, but losing that big piece on the offensive line does suck.
Is he out for the year?
I don't know if he's out for the year or not. It's a kneecap
I didn't hear
issue.
that.
Kneecap issue. He might be. Marco might know. Marco is Becton out for a year with that broken kneecap?
Who?
I'm assuming Becton. Becton for the Jets.
I don't know. I don't know how long.
Yeah, it was a knee issue. That's huge. It's freaking huge. But you put it together with those 2 running backs. I know you hate Michael Carter, and we'll get to him later.
I don't hate Michael Carter. You're an idiot.
He cannot fail, and he will give you fantasy production for $0, for 0 draft capital. He's going to outperform that ADP of 24, quarterback 24. He's going to. Dave, trash me.
I don't hate it. I mean, he's like you said, he's basically free. He's the kind of guy that in like our redraft league, if you have a good quarterback, or if you have or if you have a good quarterback and you want to back up, that's fine. Or if you waited on QB and you want to get 2 of them, he's a guy you can take late and try to see who blows up, because it happens every single year, which is why I don't understand why people take these guys super early in normal 1 QB leagues that everyone plays in. People take QBs way too high, and everyone knows there's always guys you can get later, and he could be that guy. I'm not saying he is or he won't, but you take him late. You pair him with whoever, Jameis Winston, Derek Carr. Derek Carr, somebody like that, and boom, Wilson's a stud, and he's blowing up, and he's balling out. And now you're starting him, because you don't need Carr. I think Carr's going to be good, but I mean that's a good thing to do. So I don't hate it. I mean, I don't hate it at all. There's really no risk in it. He could be good. He's got, like you said, he's got weapons everywhere. He's gonna have to be really bad if he's not good this year. Then they might have to make a decision really fast on him. So we'll find out.
And what sells me on Wilson, and I heard it all year last year, I'm sure you guys did too. Every time Romo did a game with the Jets, he loved Zach Wilson's the best quarterback of this draft. Zach Wilson's got the arm. Like, I trust Tony Romo. And then I started to look at it. I started watching his college film. I'm like, Zach Wilson's good.
Oh, in college he was amazing. I wanted him as a Viking last year in the draft, but I knew that was going to happen.
And I'm like, come on, like the Jets are just bad. They're like the Lions. They're just never win. So maybe this is the year, like the Bengals did last year, where they put it together. I'm not saying they're going to the Super Bowl, but I'm saying they could put up fantasy points. We saw Elijah Moore do it last year. We saw it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you're blind if you expect this whole thing to happen, right? We liked Zach Wilson coming into the draft. Then he got put on the Jets. That's gonna hurt in year one, especially when they still have a terrible line and they hadn't gotten their receivers together and everything. And now he's in year two. The game, again, going to slow down for a year two player, and he's going to have his offensive weapons around him improved everywhere. Like, the Jets are going to be better. A team doesn't have to stay. We said it about the Browns in the past that, like, nobody could be successful in the Browns because they were so bad. But look at them now, right? Like, things change. It constantly changes. Look at them now. Who would have thought?
The thing that scares me about this is are they going to allow him to be the quarterback one? As in, are they going to allow him to make throws? Or are they going to make it all baby proof? Like, oh yeah, just screens over here, screens. Are they going to unleash him and just let him throw? That's what I'm worried about. Because last year I feel like they babied him, which they needed to. They needed to. The Dolphins babied too as well. I get it.
But
just let
guess
the guy
what? He grew up this offseason when he's banging MILF, so he's ready to go.
That confidence that he's got now is just
he's just come out just fucking slinging.
Did you guys see the no look sidearm that he had at camp? Oh, you guys got to look. Oh, Josh, you would have loved this. He had a dart to Elijah Moore where he's looking down the middle of the field and sidearms it. It was Pat Mahomes like, and it was just a perfect throw. And everybody's like, "Oh shit, the MILF banger!" Blah blah.
Yeah, Josh Wingate in the chat says, yeah, he did lose his left tackle for the season. Yeah, we brought that up. We weren't sure if he was out for the season or not. That does hurt. That's huge.
Yeah, no, you don't need linemen. Just put,
yeah. Offensive line don't matter in fantasy. Just snap, throw deep to Moore, catch it. Dave, I've been getting Moore everywhere and Garrett Wilson everywhere, Michael Carter everywhere.
I love Elijah Moore.
So do I. All right, Marco, let's move on to your fantasy Peacock running back.
Wow, all right. This one, I would never have thought that I would be talking about how I'm going to draft Cordarrelle Patterson on all of my teams. But
yeah,
here we are. Like it doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not I'm not like a CPAT, major fan, and I don't have him on any dynasty teams. Like I don't think I have him on a single one in any of our leagues, guys, right? Like so I'm not this diehard for a CPAT, but the guy was what, RB7 last year? And what'd they do? What'd they add? Like, he's still going to be the featured player in that offense.
Don't tell Josh this.
I love Kyle Pitts. I love Drake London. But, like, he is going to be involved like crazy still. And he's going, what is it? RB38, I think is what it is. I'm going to pull it up right now and make sure I get this right. But something absurd like RB38. Yeah, RB38. That's ridiculous. How does the guy go from RB7, not lose his job, and become RB38? Josh, explain it to me.
First of all, go ahead, Josh. Go ahead.
No, I was just looking. You guys talk. I'm looking up what I wrote down in our chat, our paragraphs.
I can understand the hesitation because he is older. He's on a bad offense. He's had his first real good year ever. I get that, but you're right. He still has no real competition. So he's still a playmaker. First of all, he's been a playmaker his whole career. No one's really used him right. That's just a fact.
He's not a bum.
So,
he's not a bum.
That's what I'm saying. He's not a bad player.
He was a first-round draft pick.
Yes, when and I wanted Minnesota to use him more often when they had him, that they didn't.
Yeah.
So this team used him. They used him the correct way. They put him in all kinds of spots. He's not going to rush for 1,000 yards. He's not going to have, 1,000,000 catches. That's not what he's going to do. But he's going to contribute everywhere because he can rush the ball. He can catch the ball. He does all of that. And who else do they have? Like you said, yeah, they got Pitts. London is still a rookie. Like, we don't know. He could be good. He could be average. We don't know yet. He's a weapon on that offense, and there's not a lot of weapons out there. And to think that he's going to just go with the RB38, could it happen? Of course it could have happened. But I think, and I don't expect him to be a top 12 guy. I don't think.
No.
I mean, if he's I don't see why he can't be top, 20 to 24 at the worst. I would think if he's getting the ball like he was anywhere close to last year. He doesn't even have to get as much, just close to it. He should be a top 24 running back. So
let's hear it, Josh.
This is wrong. This is so wrong because he never got a heavy workload in Atlanta. When he produced, he only got 42% of the snaps. That was when he was awesome. When they needed him, when they relied on him, when they used him as a crutch, that's when he fell off. That's when he was averaging 8 points a game in the last 6 games of the season when he was
Okay,
just
so they continue
awful.
to utilize him as a Swiss Army knife who's 42%
But hold
of
on.
snaps.
These 42% of the snaps, they got very lucky in these games where he was the week where he finished running back 4, he had 2 touchdowns. The week where he finished running back 1, he had 3 touchdowns. The week where he finished running back 4 again, 2 he only does well when he has these multiple random fluky touchdown games.
So
When he
you're going
gets
to take
the
it all
bulk,
away from him?
no.
All of
When he
it?
gets the bulk of the carries, when he gets the bulk of the work, 66% of the work, 61%, he does nothing. He does nothing because he's not a player that can handle the workload and that can be schemed. He needs to be oh shit, where'd he come from? That's what happened. That's why he was scoring those points. Oh shit. He's
He
playing,
could be schemed. He might not be the
but not
feature
schemed as the
workhorse,
feature
but that's the thing.
workload.
They efficiently used him, right? They found a way to use him. Now, were they eventually forced into utilizing him more and it didn't work out? Sure, but they're going to learn their lesson and they're going to go back to what worked. He's still the RB1 on the depth chart, right? Maybe they use Tyler Elijah. What's his name? The rookie. Right, but
Who else
he's
is
number 1 on
there?
the depth chart. Just the rookie that they drafted in the
That's what I'm
5th
saying. A
round
5th round
or whatever it
rookie.
was. So, like,
This guy Josh acts
come
like
on.
he's gonna come in and steal his job. Get out of here.
Josh, at the bare minimum, he's going to be utilized, whether it's as the feature running back, whether it's just in the screen and short pass game, whatever it is, he's going to be utilized in an offense that doesn't have a lot of weapons. So for him to be RB38, again, we're not saying he has to be RB7 again. I don't expect him to be anywhere close to RB7 again. But he can regress down to RB20 and still be a fucking steal at RB38 right now.
He had double-digit points in all but 2 games of the first 14. I think I told somebody in our chat today. The last 3 games he was terrible fantasy points. But out of first 14 games, he had only 2 that were less than double digits. That's really fucking good for guys you're going to get for free. And what are you going to give him in the 10th or plus round?
Hold on, those games, his snap share was 35%. 30%.
I don't care. Why are you saying that? I don't care.
But that's what I'm saying. He doesn't. That's if you're gonna count your fantasy season on a fluke, on a hope. Let's hope this happens.
But how is taking somebody at RB38 counting in my fantasy season on it?
Yeah, I'm not relying on this guy to save my year.
You're right about that. You're
You're getting him for free, like you said with Wilson.
Would you rather take?
And if you say he's getting no snaps, if you say he's getting no snaps, that's fine. So Tyler, whatever the heck his name is, can come in and still get some work, and they can still use Patterson in his smaller role, his gadget plays, and he can still be great. Mm-hmm. Like he can still not even great. He can still be solid and good enough to where he's not going to get benched because they don't have anybody else. That's even let's say they don't want to use him as a running back anymore. He's still probably going to line up as a receiver some because they don't have anybody else. Who they got? London and Pitts.
He'll be utilized.
So
somehow.
That's what I'm saying.
He will be utilized. I don't know if I can count on him week in and week out.
Probably not.
Is this the week I start him? Is this the week I start him?
How many people being drafted after RB24 can you count on week in and week out?
0.
None.
Let's find out.
Yeah, I mean, name me a couple guys after RB24 that you're like, 100%.
AJ Dillon.
Miles
Sanders. Oh yes, really?
Miles Sanders, you can trust every week.
Go look at AJ Dillon's stats. He had exactly like you said. He had a couple big games. Otherwise, he was trash. Look at his.
He brought up Miles Sanders.
Yeah, I did.
Miles Sanders.
Out of here.
Rashad Penny.
Rashad
Penny, the GOAT.
Oh,
what?
Rashad Penny.
4 good games of his career.
Yeah. I would think Rashad's 4 good games over CPAT's 9.
So you think Rashad Penny's going to play more than 4 games?
I can't.
4 good games. That's all you want.
We're gonna talk about this later. So can we skip it? And just
move on.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later. My running back is a guy that actually Marco was into last year, and I kind of made fun of him for it, and I feel bad because I did like him, and I still did like him because I understand I was not wrong totally. But David Montgomery, same argument, kind of with CPAT, except for he's a better player. There's no one else there. Khalil Herbert, he wasn't that special. Yes, he was good, but nothing like he's not gonna take Montgomery's job away. Montgomery's a true workhorse running back. We don't have that anymore. We don't have the Zekes or the Montgomerys or the Henrys or Taylors. He's in that class where he's not as good as them, but he's going to get the majority of the work. 22 carries a game. He's going to score fantasy points. He ends the season every year on fire, on complete fire, and he was won you leagues 2 years in a row now. This is crazy. And people are fading him. They don't even like Dave. Dave thinks he's so blah and so boring. but he doesn't really truly look at the numbers that he just puts up fantasy numbers every single year. He's going as a running back 17 behind James Conner. Who would you rather have? Who would you guys rather have?
Montgomery easily, but I'm a Montgomery fan. You know
Montgomery, easy. I think that's a good ADP. Here's a good one. Zeke. Would you rather have Zeke or Montgomery?
Zeke.
Honestly,
That's hard, right?
Zeke's a bit safer, but I think Montgomery will have a better year.
And if you're going to use this whole bullshit story, like, oh, who else are they going to use? Well, who else are they going to use in Chicago, right? N'Keal Harry. Who else? What other bums do they have? They have Mooney, they have Komet, and they have Montgomery. That's it. I think he's being underdrafted. He's going to be on all my redraft teams for sure. I have him ranked currently right now on my rankings as the running back 10 going into the season. I have him. Dave, laugh all you want. Laugh all you want. Laugh all you want.
I hope Dave chokes on his Skittles.
Choke on those Skittles because I think he's going to be. Dave, stop laughing at me.
What's his ADP?
Guarantee you won't take him that much.
Guarantee I will.
What's his ADP?
His ADP is
RB
running back 17.
Running back 17.
I would take him going like in the third round.
I'm gonna have him in a lot, but I just think he's at a good spot. Like I like him at RB 17. I think he might, he'll probably outplay that by a few spots and maybe be a low end RB 1. I think he could be hit like RB 12. I mean, he has the ability. I mean, he was RB 4 2 years ago, right? Like he has the ability.
He had 75% of the snap share, which is insane for a running back. 50 red zone touches, like that's 5th in the NFL last year.
We talked about it last week. The Bears' offense was historically bad last year. Like they're going to be better, and he's going to have more opportunities to score touchdowns and to be on an efficient offense. I like him. I like Montgomery a lot.
Yeah, especially at that price. You're paying for a low-end running back 2, and you're going to get a high-end running back 2 or low-end running back 1. Whichever way you look at it.
Ranked at 10?
I do.
I want to see your rankings.
You want to see my rankings?
I want to see your rankings very badly.
Right.
Yes.
I will share my screen right now if you want.
I mean, you can save this for another show if you want. We can keep going, but yeah, I would like to just spend a show picking apart your rankings.
I would love that. That's next week, baby.
But I like Montgomery. That's fine.
Give me your wide receiver.
Who did I end up picking for my wide receiver? I was back and forth between people for that one.
I don't know. You sent it to me.
Traylon Burks, right?
Yeah. It's Burks.
All right. So Traylon Burks currently going at least. Let's see. For underdog, he's going wide receiver 43. For on Fantasy Pros, stand by. He's going wide receiver 38. So I don't really get how he could be this low. I understand wanting to wait on rookies. I get it. But Traylon Burks was my favorite wide receiver coming into the draft. I love his play style. I think it's what translates to the NFL as a successful receiver. He was literally compared, for anybody who doesn't know, over and over and over again to A.J. Brown before the draft, and was said, this is A.J. Brown 2.0. He plays exactly like A.J. Brown. He gets the ball, strong points the ball, and then takes it to the house. That's exactly his play style. And then coincidentally, right, or I guess on purpose, because everybody else saw it, right, even in the NFL they saw it, they traded away A.J. Brown to the Eagles and said, all right, we're going to use that draft pick that we just got to draft his exact replacement in Traylon Burks. So he is going into an offense that has already been designed for him, whether it wasn't him specifically, right, but it was designed for Derrick Henry and A.J. Brown, and now he's taking A.J. Brown's spot. And he has no competition. I'm sorry. Robert Woods being drafted in front of him. People must be on drugs.
Is he really?
He is a 30-year-old wide receiver who has only ever been decent and is coming off injury. And is switching teams. Why would he be successful? He's going to be just a security blanket, whatever, help out, take some targets here or there. Robert Woods is not the number one receiver in this offense.
No, of course not. Burks is the number one. He's going to be dominant. I do believe that. Hey, you want to laugh real quick? In our startup that we started yesterday, and we're already.
Where did I get Burks at?
You got Burks
late.
late.
In the startup.
Let me see. 8-12. 8-12.
8-12.
In Dynasty?
Guess who went above him? Guess who went before him?
Who?
Pickens.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yes.
Come on. Burks
Pickens,
is a better receiver and a better situation. Like,
so,
what is...
Pickens went
I like
8-3.
Pickens, but yeah.
Out of all the rookie running backs, Adele went in the 8th round. Pickens went 8-3. Garrett Wilson went 8-4. Sky Moore went 8-8. And then Burks went 8-12.
Yeah, I got Burks over all those guys.
That's ridiculous.
Wilson's the only one I would consider, I think. The other two, for sure, I'd take him over
Is
Sky Moore and
Is it
Pickens.
people still convincing themselves that a receiver can't be successful in a run-first Derrick Henry offense? Like, is that what it is?
Well, one, this league is full of mostly new players in Dynasty. Two,
But even in general, his ADP is way too low right now. So, like,
I mean, maybe, yeah, could be.
I think it's
the only thing I can
because
think of.
I think it's because it's limited targets. You have a quarterback question with Tannehill where he fell off last year. You don't know where they're going.
Really?
And then you also have, is Derrick Henry going to be healthy enough? I think people are leaning to get away from the Titans in general. I don't think it's a Burks
love
thing.
Burks this year. Long term, I think he'll be okay though.
I think he'll have 120 plus targets. And if you have 120 plus targets and you're a talented wide receiver 38 is way too low. Like, you're probably going to be a top 25 wide receiver.
What was AJ Brown's target share when he was there?
AJ Brown did well when he was healthy. He
was great when he was
more than
healthy. Yeah.
No, I'm saying target wise, he did really well. Like, a lot of people act like he was just got this one big play, but he had double digit target games here and there. Like, he was involved. Again, that one thing that people don't realize is they look at how involved Derrick Henry is and say it's a run first offense, but they don't think about the fact that in other offenses that might not seem as run first, their running backs are involved in the passing game. Derrick Henry is not involved in the passing game at all, which opens up those shorter plays, those targets that would normally be a dish out to a running back is to a wide receiver, and that's where these targets are able to come from.
There you go. All right, let's pivot on to my wide receiver love, my guy, my Peacock. I'm changing on the fly.
You're changing?
Because you pre-show, you're like, Josh, you can't do this again. Because we all know it's Hollywood Brown. Like, that's my love. I think I'm gonna have him in all drafts.
Stick with him.
Because,
no, you shouldn't. By the way, I said to Josh, my real wide receiver, other guy is Amon-Ra St. Brown. I have him on every team. But we talked about him last week, so give another one.
But I do want to say, I want to preference this, that Hollywood's going wide receiver 25 right now currently, and I have him ranked at wide receiver 9 in my rankings. Dave, laugh it up. That's fine.
He went down a spot. You said 8 last week.
I double checked and I sent you guys a picture of my rankings, and he was 9. He was not 8. But I'm going to pivot to my true love. The guy who led me to fantasy euphoria. The guy who led me to undefeated seasons. The guy who's The guy who's back. Let's go, Michael Thomas. Listen. Why does he get trashed by the media, by the casuals? Oh, he hasn't played in 2 years. Oh, he hasn't done this. But then someone like Saquon gets a pass, or he could be the running back 1. He could be this. He could do this. He has the ceiling. Yeah, we haven't seen that since 2018. No offense, Marco. Same thing with Michael Thomas. We haven't seen that since 2019. And before this injury, he was never the kind of guy that gets you nothing. He was always an elite talent since day one coming into the league. So why, with 2 years off, maybe a year and a half off, whatever it was, why can't he come back full health? I know you, let me speak.
I know.
Why can't he come back into this offense with Jameis Winston, with this, whatever the Saints offense you want to call it, and produce? Why can't he throw up 1,300 yards in one season? Like, that's 1,300 yards is low for him, by the way. 1,300 yards. He came in the league off the bat 1,100, then 1,200, then 1,400, then 1,700.
Then
I understand. Then of course he got injured. I mean, it is
what about the year after that?
He didn't play because you get hurt on company time, you heal on company time. I don't blame him. He didn't want to be there. Again,
he's a quitter.
You call him a quitter.
Yeah, I call him a quitter.
You call him a quitter. There's a lot.
He was dedicated. He would have played, but he didn't want to play.
Yeah, because he was thinking about his career and how he wanted to look. He doesn't play for the fans, and I totally appreciate that. He plays for himself and he plays for his teammates. He owes nothing to you. He has nothing.
He didn't play for his teammates. What are you talking about?
If he's not going to be 100, if he's not going to be 100%,
surgery, he could have got off-season surgery the first year, and he didn't because he was unhappy with his contract or whatever the issue was. Don't say he plays for his teammates. He plays for himself. So stop that nonsense. Don't bring that bullshit here.
I said he plays for himself. Why wouldn't he play? When I go to work, when I log into work, am I thinking about all the people out there counting on me? Am I thinking about?
We're gonna compare
I'm thinking about
your
me.
$60,000 a year job versus the wide receiver. Here we go.
Why we got to bring money into it? Look, let's get back to the fact that Michael Thomas is being criminally disrespected. This guy is a Hall of Famer. This guy
not even close.
He's putting up Hall of Fame numbers without those injuries. You think if he never got hurt, he wouldn't be on the line to be in the Hall of Fame?
He did get hurt. That's the point.
He's a would-be Hall of Famer. He's a why are we? And this is becoming me hating Saquon again. But why is he getting all these passes? Oh, he could be this. He could be the seal. But why is first off, he's a receiver, so he touches the ball less. Second off, receivers you can't even touch a receiver nowadays without a penalty. So this dude is a great route runner. You can't guard him.
All you can do is really, because I know a linebacker or a safety that guarded him one time in the playoffs to shut him down. So I don't want to hear you can't guard. Listen, all you can do is run slants. Just cover the slant. And you're good.
That's not true. But I agree with a lot of what you're saying, Josh, and I do think he's been hated on too much, which, by the way, just makes you an absolute hypocrite when it comes to Saquon. But whatever, fuck it.
Different stories, though.
My thing with it, and you're asking what's the difference between him and Saquon. Well, Saquon is the featured player on his offense, the only guy on his offense. He is the running back, no question. He's going to get his carries, whatever, right? So he has the opportunity. Michael Thomas, obviously, right, in the past, we've thought of Michael Thomas as the only guy on that offense. But is he anymore? I mean, you've got Jarvis Landry there now. You've got Chris Olave there now. Everybody loves, like,
Kamara,
obviously, right? So
you have no Sean Payton. You have Jameis Winston instead of Drew Brees. Everything's the same as 2019. Everything's exactly the same. Nothing's changed at all.
It doesn't need to be 2019, Dave, because he put these numbers up every single year.
But Josh, who are you? I get it. I agree. I mean, before his injury, he was I think it was fantasy wide receiver 7 or overall or better throughout his entire career.
And I do want to say, before the injury, he only missed one game.
But Josh, who are you taking above him? Like, who are you taking him above? Let me put it that way. That's in front of him right now.
Let's go to his ADP.
On his ADP.
I was talking to Dave about the ADP game. I hate the ADP game, so I'm going to try to but I would take him over Gabe Davis easily. I would take him over Hopkins.
Right yeah.
I would take him over Renfro. I would take him over Allen Robinson, Thielen, Judy, Mooney.
How you love Allen Robinson?
I would still take I love Michael Thomas more. You said
Allen Robinson's like a top 12 receiver, so you should have him in the top 15.
I said he could. That was a hot take episode, Dave.
So you're gonna where do you have Michael Thomas ranked? Because it sounds like you have Michael Thomas ranked as like wide receiver 14 right now.
20. I have him 20 in my rankings right now. I have him right above DK Metcalf and right behind Brandon Cooks. I am worried about the rust.
DK. Wow.
I am worried about the rust. I am worried about the quarterback.
When was the last time a player took off 2 years and came back and was good? Completely. Not Saquon, who at least played, had an injury.
But you're acting like he took 2 full years off. He played 7 games.
Oh,
2020, he played 7 games.
Whatever.
That's a half season.
Year and a half. Okay, I see. He hasn't played a year and a half. He hasn't played football in a year and a half.
It's concerning.
Okay. So did he forget?
And since then...
Oh, hold on. Are we going to talk about Jamar Chase missing a full season?
No.
He sat out because of COVID, and guess what?
He came back.
One season. There's a difference between one. A lot of players miss one season.
We
didn't ask about one season.
And Michael Thomas only missed half.
Chase is a pussy for sitting out, by the way.
He's selfish, by the way, Dave.
100%, I agree with you there. I'm not even debating that.
And
the point is,
Pickens.
He wasn't hurt.
Pickens. Just think about all these players that missed a year.
Pickens played last year, didn't he? He played some.
Pickens. Now, what about Pickens? He's being overdrafted too. Move on.
You're also talking about 21-year-olds versus 27 or 28-year-olds.
Peyton Manning.
Now we're compared to Peyton Manning.
What is with you tonight?
You know what? Just skip.
All I'm saying is, no, hold on. I'll get back to rational. I'll get the rational thinking right here. Before this injury, he never hurt you. And get back to the whole Saquon's argument. He did hurt you a lot, where he did put up 1.8 or he put up 3 points. Michael Thomas never did that. You can go ahead and look at his game log. That's totally fine. We will move on soon, but I'll give you his fantasy points per game his entire career. 2016, 7th, 4th, 6th, 1st. He's never finished outside the top 7 in fantasy points per game until his injury year. He didn't play last year. And I love that you keep on bringing that up. Oh, what about last year? You're acting like he forgot how to play football, which is totally insane to me.
I'm not. My point is, and I don't even hate him that much. I think he had a lot of time off because he's probably going to be rusty. He has a new quarterback, his new offense, new coaches, literally everything. He has an Olave who's a high draft pick to compete with now. Like he said, there's a lot of things different than they were in 2019. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think he's going to be trash? Probably not. Like he's a good player. Like I'm sure he's not complete ass, but you're acting like it's 2019 again. It's not like
it's not even about 2019 though. 2018, 2017. It's not even just 1 year. It's not like he had that one blow up year.
Okay, my point is he hasn't done it in 2 years.
He hasn't done it in 2 years.
That's my point.
He's a consistent good. He did in college as well. He just always produces. And when you're a high level athlete like that, you just don't forget, right? Serena didn't take all his time off.
Done, but maybe he's done.
Maybe he is.
And he's not being drafted. Let's be clear. Like he's not being drafted like he's done. He's being drafted at a low end wide receiver too. Like that's a fantasy relevant.
He's being drafted at 33. So that's a high.
I thought he was in the low 20s.
Low 33.
All right, he's still being drafted. Fantasy relevant. That's a starting fantasy player.
So you're taking
mid wide receiver 3.
Yeah.
So you're taking this guy who had this huge work of just excellence, and then you have a guy like Gabe Davis who has 1 game. Draft him ahead. Now I know you're supposed to project forward. I totally get that. I totally get it.
But that's the point. That's what we're doing here.
On this guy.
Now I'm sure there are some guys on that list that I would I'm sure I would take him over some of the players. I haven't seen the whole list. I just think you're acting like he's going to get another 1,500 yards just falling out of bed and playing again.
Yeah.
Like he had an ankle injury. Like you realize that what if he's even slower? He already wasn't a faster player. So he already relied on his route running, which was fine. So now if he's a little bit slower, you don't think the NFL, but he's getting open. Oh, I saw you retweeted it today. He's 4 for 4 in the red zone. Oh, congratulations. What's he going to do against real players when they're down there like stopping them and he can't get off the line?
24-0, baby. Saints up 24-0 today.
And wasn't he notorious for having absurd targets every single year? Like I know he was efficient with what he got.
Like that's what I'm saying.
With Landry and Olave there, and no longer having Breeze, like all 3 of those combined, he's not. It's going to be a huge drop off from what he was.
But you also are overlooking the fact that yes, Jameis is a bomb. Jameis is what he is. But he also falls in love with that receiver, like he did here in Tampa with Mike Evans.
But that's the problem. What if it's Olave?
You're right. You're right. You're right. But if you listen to any interview Jameis Winston does or has done this offseason, it's all about Michael Thomas. Me and Michael Thomas ready. We're ready. We're ready. It's been always about me and Michael Thomas. And if you listen to Michael Thomas, it's about me and Jameis. I think they had that connection. That's all I'm saying. Being criminally underdrafted. Let's go on to your tight end.
All right, my tight end is a very obvious one, and it's George Kittle. I love George Kittle. Everybody loves George Kittle. It's not going to be an argument about, hey, it's tight end 4. He's going tight end 4 right now, 43rd overall. It's not that big of an argument of saying, hey, tight end 4 is too low. I'm not even saying that. It might be. I actually think I like him at tight end 4. I do like Kelsey the most this year. Mark Andrews probably is my second, and then Kyle Pitts, and pretty much aligns with what the market ADP is right now, consensus ADP. So I like George Kittle at tight end 4. The thing that I'm saying that I'm going to have George Kittle on a lot of my teams is where he's landing in an overall draft is in this kind of no man's land of players that I don't really trust. And he's the last tight end that you can get. Like, I'm sorry, people are talking about bringing Dalton Schultz into the conversation of these elite tight ends, and that's not a thing. Please stop doing that. It's those top 4 tight ends, and then that's it. And then Waller is like right here. He's probably in that conversation a little bit, but he's back and forth, right? That 5, nobody else comes near that at all. And the way I play, I want one of those 5, either that or I'm almost not even drafting a tight end at that point, right? So I ideally would like to get one of those 5, and where he's landing, just to give you, I'm going to give you names on both sides of him right now. everybody has a question mark or a thing I don't really love about them. Josh Jacobs, who's meh. Deontay Johnson, who's got the QB whole offense thing we just spoke about. Travis Etienne, his first year. Michael Pittman, supposed to break out, but who really knows? Is Matt Ryan even really playable right now? Whatever. Jalen Waddle on the other side of him with Tyreek there, and Tua, DJ Moore, who's got his new QB situation going on. Terry McLaurin, who I like, but again, Wentz, does he stay healthy? Whatever. And then it goes down to Waller. So all those guys around him are just guys I don't hate any of those guys. I'm just saying they're not guys that I'm in love with, guys that I fully trust. They're guys I have question marks about. And then you have Kittle, who I have no question marks about. And it goes back to what I was saying about Trey Lance and how much I love Trey Lance and how effective this offense is going to be. And I think Kittle has potentially his best year ever with Trey Lance by his side.
Well, no argument for me. I love Kittle as well. I took him in that startup. I'm excited for him.
Yeah, I like him.
Easy. All right. Cool.
That was an easy one. No arguments. My guy is a guy I've been touting for a while, ever since because Mike Gesicki is just awesome. He plays a lot of in the slot. 412 snaps last year. It's going to go down because Tyreek plays in the slot. Waddle played in the slot. Like, they have all the slot receivers in the world, so we've already talked about that. I'm excited to see how they use him like they use Kittle in San Francisco. That's what I'm excited to see. We already know Gesicki's got the hands. We already know he could receive. He had 111 targets last year, 4th amongst tight ends. And if you could just put it together with Tua, I think if you have Tyreek running streaks, you got Waddle doing these little curls and these little crossing routes, Gesicki could be wide open in the seam. And Tua's going to look for him. Tua loves his tight ends, whether it be Smythe, whether it be Shaheem. I think he just got traded good. And then whether it be Gesicki. It's like, I swear to you, he loves those tight ends. And I think Gesicki really stands out. They're going to try to force feed the ball to Tyreek because he needs his 130 targets. Waddle's going to need his 130 targets. So the question becomes, is Tua going to throw for 400, 500 attempts, 600 attempts? What's he going to do? But Gesicki getting drafted at tight end 12 right now, going behind guys like Freiermuth, who I'd rather have Gesicki, like Knox, who I'd rather have Gesicki, Ertz, I'd rather have Gesicki. And that's about it. Like, that's kind of my cutoff. So your draft.
Cole Kmet is in front of him?
No, Komet's below. Komet's below.
Oh, on Fantasy Pros, they have Kmet at
change it to
11.
PPR scoring. I think you have standard.
Oh yeah, I'm on standard. You're right. There you go.
Yeah. So Gesicki's going 12th overall at the tight end position, which I just don't. I think he's not going to finish with those guys, with the Pitts, the Andrews, the Kelseys. But at the value you're getting, if you're going to go ahead and punt, if you miss on Kelsey, if you miss on Andrews, Pitts, or Kittle, I'm not putting Waller in that position anymore. I would wait and hold off on Gesicki because you're going to get him super late, like the 11th, 12th round, and he's going to put up top 5 tight end weeks at least 10 times this year, at least. And that's what you need for your tight end, especially if you're punting tight end. No, nothing, no arguments, no saying that I'm wrong.
I don't think you're punting tight end with Gesicki because I like him a lot. I am mad about I got sniped. I was going to take him today in our draft. He went 1 pick before me. I was like, that motherfucker. So. I mean, I like him. He's not elite, but I think he's solid.
Yeah, that's the right word. He's not elite, but he's not Hunter Henry where he needs 10 touchdowns to be relevant, and he's not going to get you the yardage like Pitts does. He's somewhere in the middle, but he's being drafted like a guy that you can stream when really you can just plug and forget him because he's going to get you those big weeks, or he'll give you those Hunter Henry weeks where he gets nothing. So he's just the ultimate. He is a punt because the 11th round you're punting tight end, right? No,
I guess if he's doing that late, yeah.
No, that's if I'm not getting one of those top 4 or 5 guys, that's what I'm going to be. You're not going to hear me badmouth a Penn State player.
I love Gesicki. Dave, do you want to bring anything? I know we're running late. We got a couple questions.
Go ahead. I got to get out of here. Let's go to some questions.
All right, questions. Rapid fire. RSTA, I'm not going to sell your name, wants to know, Superflex tight end, premium, which side do you like? Dak Prescott or Fields and Burks?
Dak.
I'm assuming redraft, not dynasty.
No, dynasty.
Dynasty?
Yeah, dynasty.
Fields and Burks. Easy.
Fields and Burks, easy.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going Fields and Burks as well, just because of the rushing upside with Fields and Burks. We love him. And Dak, he can take him or leave him. Jansport wants to know, on a win now team, dynasty team, would you rather have C-Pat or Michael Carter as your running back 1 going into 2022?
I think I already answered that.
You did, which sucks.
Yeah.
Which I don't understand it. I truly don't understand.
I already told you this.
You'd rather
this
have
is
the
why.
Jets' second running back?
Thank you.
Fuck
Thank you.
Yes, because
Thank you.
I really
Why?
don't think. Do you think Breece Hall's going to get 70% of the
Yes.
the snaps?
Yes.
Do you really think
Yes.
so?
Yes.
Do you want to bet on that? Do you want to bet on that right now?
No, I'm not betting on that. But yes, why would he not? They drafted him very high, the top of the second round. There's no reason for him to not be, and I'm not comparing him to Mixon and Cook. He's a high second round running back that should get the majority of the work. So my comparison, I told you this earlier, is he's going to be the Samaje Perine or the Alexander Madison that you can never start ever unless those guys are hurt.
Yeah.
You can't. You just can't. He's not going to contribute enough to be in your lineup ever unless Hall is hurt. Unless Hall is a complete bust. It could happen. It happens all the time. Unless Hall is a complete bust, you will never start Michael Carter in your lineup unless Breece Hall is hurt. Ever.
Recent history.
At least I get 1 year of okay play from Patterson. So yes.
Recent history. What do you think? Just give me a ballpark number. Jonathan Taylor's snap share in his rookie year.
I'm not
ballpark.
playing this game. I don't know how the snap shares, and I don't know it. I'm telling you, Hall's going to get enough work. Can you start Jonathan Taylor's backup? No. Can you start most guys? Maybe in a PPR. If you think Michael Carter's going to be Nyheim Hines and he's going to catch all those balls,
that's his upside. Carter's upside is to be Nyheim Hines.
If he gets to that, exactly. That's the best he'll ever be at this point. And I don't think that happens, but it could happen.
I just don't understand what you guys are saying because Jonathan Taylor didn't even have a 50% snap share his rookie year. Why do you think this rookie is he's better than Jonathan Taylor all of a sudden? Like, why would you think that?
Who was there? Who was there that had the other 50%?
Who? Please tell me. It was Marlon Mack. It was Marlon Mack for 3 snaps.
A successful running back
for 3 snaps. He tore his Achilles on the freaking first drive.
Before that, and then who else? Nyheim Hines, who had been there for years, right? And it was successful in their offense. Carter has not done anything. I mean, he was okay in his rookie year, but you act like Carter's this established back that they just drafted Breece Hall because it worked out. Whatever, they took him. Like, no, Breece Hall is a 3-down back. Carter would never ever was that. He was never supposed to be a 3-down back. He was always supposed to be a change of pace back and nothing else. That's not only that, college to Javonte.
Not only that. Yes, exactly. Not only that, nothing changed from last year. The same coaches that drafted Carter said he's not good enough. Let's draft Breece Hall at the top of the second round because that's the guy we want. Like, I'm not saying Carter's a terrible player. In the NFL, he's gonna probably be around for a few years. He'll be a quality backup, but he's never gonna be a guy that you can start unless the guy in front of him is hurt. Ever.
If you're comparing CPAT in his position where he can totally fall off a cliff and he's 32 years old.
He could be terrible. The thing is, he could be a complete bust, 100% bust, and I would still be fine because Carter is never going to be anything special. Only thing is he's 23 years old, so you're going to have a career backup for longer than I'll have Patterson for a year. That's it.
I disagree with
the question
with
was
everything
a win now team as your RB1. All right.
Thank you. Like, it doesn't make any sense to take Carter over Patterson.
Right. CPAT, yeah, you're right, Josh. Maybe he dies. But guess what? Maybe he's RB7 because that's what he fucking was last year. Like, he can give you what the RB1, what you need from an RB1. Carter can't. He just can't. There's no situation with Breece Hall there that Carter gives you RB1 numbers.
What do you mean he can't? What do you mean he can't though? Why can't he? He put up good numbers last year. It's not like he just.
The Breece Hall is there now.
You're acting like nothing's changed. The only thing that's not changed is that
the best running back in the class.
All running backs start 16, 17 games. I forgot. They all do. They
all do. Okay, you're saying the worst case scenario for Hall. You literally have to take all of the worst case things that happening for Carter to even be fantasy. When I say relevant, I mean a flex week on occasion.
You guys are saying everything has to happen to the best case scenario for CPAT.
No, we're not.
In 8-9 years, it's never happened except for 1 year. It's only happened 1 year.
If CPAT is a bust and it gets hurt in the preseason, is out, he's still gonna give me as many starts as Carter will give you this year. That's 0.
I'm telling you right now, and we're not going to do this right now because I already know Carter's going to have more fantasy points than Patterson easily.
Okay.
And I cannot wait. I cannot wait till this happens because it's going to be hilarious.
Can't wait.
Okay. You guys are going to be idiots.
Can't wait.
All right.
Stupid idiots. All right, last question because I didn't feel like arguing.
I'm so glad Marcus on my side.
I know. I knew he would be. I already knew.
Because anybody with the brain can see what we're saying. It's not.
You said the same thing about Chris Carson. You said the same thing about all these other guys. And guess what?
Dead. He doesn't even.
Here we go.
Of course he's dead now. Of course. This is new. All right. Last question. What do you guys look for in preseason games to determine fantasy success?
Nothing. I don't watch preseason games. I don't pay attention to preseason games. If you're paying attention to preseason games, the starters barely play like a series. You're not getting anything out of it. The only thing maybe you can get out of it is if the guy's starting. Like, okay, he started, he played a series. Okay, good. That's all I care about. Other than that, I couldn't care less.
I disagree slightly, and the only reason I'm gonna say is I honestly don't really watch preseason that often anymore. But back in my younger days when I just was in college and able to watch preseason and just drink all day, I would watch every single game. And back then, I had a player that, but I'm just gonna sound like I'm making it up, but I knew Antonio Brown was the shit before anybody else did. I'm telling you, I watched the preseason games and I saw him fucking be Antonio Brown, be a joystick on the field, right, and just make plays like crazy. And I said, holy shit. It was back when we first, Dave, Josh, you didn't play Dynasty with me back then, but Dave, like you probably remember we were in those leagues together back when I first started playing Dynasty. I got Antonio Brown in every single league because the Steelers at the time, I think, only had Mike Wallace in front of them. And I was watching this guy tear it up. And he was this no-name, low drafted wide receiver, but on a team that didn't have much in front of him. And I liked what I saw. And it was completely free for me to pick up. So that's what I'm looking for. If I'm looking for anything, it's really the youth, right? I'm not looking for any veterans. Like, I don't care about anything. But a rookie surprising me with talent, like the eye test, that's what I'm looking for.
I look at the running back position, and that's it. Because I think that's the easiest position to see on the field, especially in preseason. Like Ramondre Stevenson last year kind of looked really well. And if you didn't watch preseason, you wouldn't know. Arian Foster, when he broke out, I mean, people were still drafting Steve Slayton and didn't realize Foster was a starter. I think running back is the easiest position to look for, and that's what I do. Like the Hall of Fame game, Josh Jacobs played. Zamir White played. They wouldn't play your starter. You wouldn't play Dalvin Cook out there. So it tells me that I don't think they really truly believe in Jacobs, and I think they will be moving on very soon, sooner than later, probably this season, probably midway through the season. That's what I look for, because you're not throwing your fragile position out there on opening night in Canton, just like they did Josh Jacobs. So that's already the first red flag for me. I look at that situation. Who's playing? Where are they playing? What quarter are they playing? I look at stuff like that. I don't look at targets. I don't look at carries. That's ridiculous.
You can't look at
that's ridiculous.
And even honestly, you're right to look at that stuff, but even that is so hard to see what the hell a coach is thinking. That's why, like I say, the only thing I can look for, like your own eyes, who looks good, like who actually looks good. That's the only thing that's true, no matter what, right? So
yeah,
I will say, I remember watching Diggs his rookie year, and I was like, man, like he's pretty freaking good. But I'm like, he's a 6th-round pick or 5th, whatever we took him, and I'm like, yeah, it's preseason. That's what I was thinking. But I was thinking, like, he looks pretty good.
I'm telling you, he was pretty good. I bet any of those guys, any of those 5th, 6th, 7th round receivers who have ended up being successful, I bet if you go back to their rookie preseasons that we find them
they were balling out.
Yeah, I bet it.
Could be true.
It happens every year. We're gonna see it. We're gonna see it a bunch of preseason. I'm gonna watch the preseason games because I'm hyped. But that's it for us tonight. We went a little over, Dave. I know you got a hard out. You can follow us on Twitter, Josh Kimmel OUS, at Viking David, and Marco nowhere. Literally nowhere. Instagram.
Nothing.
He's where the hot girls are.
Nope, nothing.
We'll be back next week. We'll be dissecting my rankings as Marco requested. That's the topic next week. So we're gonna go look through all my rankings. I update them weekly, so we'll have a new weekly update.
We'll talk about our new Dynasty League, about how I'm dominating it.
Well, that's going to be a separate thing that me and you are going to do. Marco, you're out of. You know what? It would be good to have Marco on.
Yeah, I want to come and critique your guys' shit since I'm not invited into this league that you did.
Well, you bullied a couple people out of Yep, so they didn't want you back.
Yeah, that's what happened. That's what happened.
I actually believe that completely.
All right, guys, we are out of here. Hey, next week, seriously,